Hey guys, Lee with Experience Lights here, and we're at our booth here at Christmas Expo in Biloxi, and we're showing off a whole bunch of new stuff. The first thing I'll show you is our Click It Pixel Splice repair part. And the cool thing about this is it replaces 3 Scotch locks with a single connector. You just take some unstripped wire, stick it into the 3 holes, smash it down, and you can do one side at a time. So you could prep a repair. If you've got 2-3 pixels to replace, you could prep the repair down on the ground, crimp on half of it, take it up the ladder, and then crimp the other half when you make your cut. That's our Click It. And over here, we have our new Genius line of pixel controllers. This is our Genius Pixel 16. It has 16 local pixel ports, 2 long-range expansions, and 2 DMX ports. It's running some custom firmware here so that we can demo some of the really cool features. One of the cool features is the automatic pixel counting. So I've got a string of 100 and a little extra here. I'll just switch this up a little bit, unplug that, plug in these strawberry bulbs over here, and push this test button. So on the screen, it's immediately, in under a second, has counted the number of pixels that are attached to that port, and it's lighting up the last one in the line, showing that that's what we've got, 150 pixels. You can plug in a couple more here. Let's see. Test it again. 157, just like that. Pixel counting. The idea behind that being you could upload your configuration from X-Lights and then on the web interface of the controller actually validate that what you have uploaded matches what's physically connected. The other thing that this can do is it's got real-time current monitoring. So we can see what the string of lights is pulling and get real-time feedback. Pretty cool. The capability of the real-time current monitoring also enables some other cool features like a full system check. Before your display runs every night, we can check each individual pixel down to the sub-element, red, green, blue, and say they're all fully functioning, or you've got a red element of the pixel is out, tell you which output, tell you which pixel it is, and also light up the pixels before that. So if you've got a failure, we could light up like 2 or 3 pixels before the cut point and say, hey, this is where the problem is, cut after this, and that's where you do your splice. So that's our 16-port pixel controller. It also features these much heavier duty power input connectors. They accept spade connectors as well if you're building wiring harnesses. We've also replaced the Phoenix connectors with these spring terminals. You just use a little screwdriver to, here we go, a little screwdriver to insert or remove that wire. They are super strong. Put that in there. And you can pull on that, and that's really secure. We've also replaced the blade fuses with an automatic electronic resettable polyfuse. So if the output exceeds the current rating, that polyfuse will trip, and to reset it, you just unplug it, plug it back in. Nothing to replace, nothing to throw away. So moving on from the pixel controller, we've got our long-range controller. This has 10 long-range ports and 2 DMX ports so that you can connect our Genius receivers or any other smart dumb receiver. And we've got over here our 4-output Genius receiver. What makes it a Genius is that it can automatically determine what kind of controller it is connected to and interpret that protocol directly. So what we have in our example is this is connected to a V3 Falcon running in test mode with the red, green, blue, white. We unplug this connector from the Falcon V3, plug it into a V4, and this is running a different test mode. So this is just running the color wash, and it immediately detects that protocol, interprets that data, and outputs it correctly to the pixels. The other cool feature about the Genius receivers, it also features the same polyfuse, resettable fuses for protection of each output, and also has place in line detection. So if you're running Genius receivers in a typical ABCD order, you don't have to set any dip switches or dial. It just automatically determines based on its place in line what address should be assigned to it. If you do have a situation where you want to change that order, you can use that rotary dial to set it manually. We've also got some really cool test modes built in. So we're using some WLED effects. We've got a nice rainbow wash there. we've got red with sparkles, green with sparkles, blue with sparkles, RGBW. Some neat test modes built into the Genius receivers and the controllers. In addition to the 4-port Genius receiver, we also have a 16-port Genius receiver. Just acts like four 4-port receivers chained together. This one features 2 power inputs, so you've got twice the power capacity there. And in addition to that, we've got our AC Genius receivers. So this receiver allows you to add 8 dimmable AC outputs to an existing show if you've already got long-range expansion ability, or you can connect it to our Genius AC controller, which accepts E131, Pixel 2 things, DMX, and Lightorama inputs, and then translates that to the long-range output. So with one controller box, you could have 1 AC Genius controller and 2 AC Genius receivers for a 16-output controller, or if you already have a Pixel controller, that's all you need to get your 8 dimmable AC outputs. The AC Genius receiver features a universal 120, 240, 50, 60 hertz Meanwell power supply, so this will work worldwide for a ready-to-run AC solution.